You may change your mind, your beliefs about something in 2 years from now. And that's what open-minded people do when they get more information about something. But you won't recover in 2 years the relationship you right now sacrifice on the altar of your beliefs or ideology. Hello everybody, this is Rabbi Mirski and welcome to the Rabbi Mirski Show. This is the first episode of my podcast. And because I'm a full-time conservative rabbi, and conservative rabbis work on average 60 hours per week, I plan to produce 2 episodes a week. I think that's realistic. So let me start. When words fail, when dialogue is abandoned, violence fills the vacuum. It's a quote from the late Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. And it is so because our internal emotions often overwhelm our ability to speak and to listen. When religion dies, another quote, something else needs to fill the vacuum, and it's typically politics. Well, this one was said by many. There was an Ipsos poll conducted in the wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination, and it indicated that 80% of Americans think the country is near a breaking point, mainly in its disagreements over politics. People divorce each other over politics. Some other people won't even break the bread with people of different views. And it runs deeper and deeper. There are people who internalize their beliefs about the world so deeply that they are not able to distinguish themselves from their beliefs. And it's a problem, because it fundamentally harms relationships between people and poses a great danger for fundamentals of peace in our society. Tolerance for this state of things enables something we call fanaticism, or maybe it is already a form of fanaticism in itself. What is fanaticism? It is commonly defined as Number 1, excessive zeal, intense, uncritical devotion to a cause, belief, or ideology, often beyond reason. Definition number 2, obsessive enthusiasm or uncompromising commitment, sometimes leading to irrational or harmful actions. And the third definition you can find around intolerance. Rigid adherence to beliefs, often rejecting opposing views with hostility. Well, yes, it looks like the third definition is relevant here, but I have come up with my own definition of fanaticism, and it looks like no one has so far addressed this issue the way I did, through the lens of relationships. So let me define fanaticism by defining who is the fanatic. A fanatic is a person who is regularly, on a daily basis, willing to sacrifice relationships for the sake of ideology. It's a person that is unable to disconnect themselves from their own ideas, even for a moment, for the sake of maintaining a relationship with another person. I don't have to tell you how toxic a mindset like this is. That kind of fanatical detachment to ideas not only destroys relationships between people, it literally disconnects the brain from reality and critical thinking. Our perception of reality is largely dependent on previous knowledge, as we know. This is one of the greatest discoveries of 20th century philosophy and psychology. The proper lesson from it is that we need to challenge our beliefs if reality gives us contrary evidence. The more people cling to their ideology, the less likely they are to honestly face reality and evidence. If we are not able to acknowledge that reality counters our beliefs, we lose the most important ability to see a person in another human being. And the most extreme version of sacrificing a relationship on the altar of someone's ideology is assassination. Simply a murder of a person whom one disagrees with. So, what are we gonna do with it? We need to start with a fundamental change in our attitude towards life and other people. You may change your mind, your beliefs about something in 2 years from now. And that's what open-minded people do when they get more information about something, right? But you won't recover in 2 years the relationship you right now are sacrificing on the altar of your beliefs or ideology. Therefore, try as much as you can to prioritize relationships over your personal beliefs of any kind. And most importantly, don't let your ideology, your beliefs, and convictions ruin your relationships with other people, even or especially if you feel really strongly about what you believe in. Here is the truth most people don't want to hear. It's not about changing people's mind. Not your spouse, not your friend, not even the person whose politics or beliefs make your blood boil. It's about giving them the freedom to change themselves. The conversation can always continue despite disagreements. Just don't let disagreements ruin the conversation. As simple as that. Maybe not that simple. I don't know. Let me continue. In all these moments, political moments, amid polarization, rage, and endless online arguments, Judaism offers a radical alternative. In Judaism, relationships have always mattered more than ideology. Yes, there are some unquestionable truths. But besides that, relationships are most important. Don't get me wrong, individual beliefs matter too. They partly make us who we are. But let's always remember, we are all made b'tsalmo, in the likeness of the divine image. That means respect the person even when you disagree with their beliefs. Let them feel heard. Let them know they are not being crushed, shamed, attacked. That is how growth begins. That is how minds and hearts open. Fanaticism sacrifices relationships on the altar of beliefs. Judaism preserves relationships first, even amid disagreement. Because here's the practical truth. You may never convince someone at a certain moment, especially if you focus on arguments, intellectual or emotional. Well, they are often the least convincing. But when you give space, respect, a listening ear, and acceptance, you create the conditions for change. Sometimes for them, sometimes for you, and sometimes both. Here, at the end, I will make my point even stronger. Here is my radical challenge for you. Stop fighting for ideology, for being right. Give up this fight and fight for relationships. Respect minds, give freedom, hear people, protect connection. That's how we fight fanaticism. That's how we fight evil. That's how we create understanding. That's how we actually build a world where people can grow. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And now I should say like, subscribe, see you next time. But I'm gonna say like if you like it, and subscribe even if you don't. See you next time.